are.
I made
I'm
it.
trying to figure out this countdown thing, and I'm not sure it is working the way I think it is. But anyway, we're
I had
here.
a
That's all that matters.
I had a huge delay. Huge delay. I don't know what
Okay.
happened that time.
I
Can
know
you
Like,
hear
what
me?
exactly what
Oh
happened.
yeah.
Yes, sorry.
hey
Hi,
Susan.
Susan.
No, we
Yay!
can't hear you.
Hi.
No. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm.
No, no Susan
Shut up,
tonight.
Jack.
Jack does have an announcement though from YouTube team, the YouTube people, like the top dogs, that he needed to pass on to you before we get started. Um, Susan.
Wait a minute. You're the one that said you needed to tell Susan. I didn't say that.
Well,
But okay, I'll tell her.
yeah, you should tell
New,
her.
new
No
community guidelines.
breastfeeding.
Okay,
No
well, Kate can tell her.
breastfeeding on this show. I'll tell her.
Oh,
No breastfeeding on this
What?
show today.
Where the hell did that come from?
from
Jack,
YouTube,
Hell.
not Rhonda. It did not come from Rhonda. It came
Breastfeeding?
from YouTube.
Are we being serious here? I mean,
Yeah, read it to her, Jack,
what the hell?
so everyone's
new
aware.
rules, no breastfeeding on YouTube. So put it up.
Well, I guess I have to log out.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it said certain conditions apply to it. It's going to be allowed.
Oh, it's
Okay,
gonna be
this is the
okay.
dumbest conversation I've had, and I don't know how long. Where the hell
didn't
did
bring
this
it
come from?
because
If
I
we
went
had
into the
any viewers, they're gone now.
I went into the studio
Right?
and there was a when YouTube has updates, when you go into the studio, there's a banner up top and you can click it. And it was about the community guidelines and so forth. So I typically read those. So, if we don't do something really bad during a live, it's going to get us a strike or something. And there are these updates that are happening this month. And I'm telling you, 2 of them are about this. It's crazy. But they keep adding and changing. They've been adding stuff to the community guidelines since right after I started streaming, when I gave Zoe the break. It's like they keep adding all this stuff. It's like you have to have an encyclopedia on what not to do. Anyway.
Crazy.
All the more reason to move to Rumble. Yay! If I can get all of my viewers, subscribers, stay subscribed here. Don't leave me. But go subscribe to my Rumble. We'll start streaming there as well. Rumble.
Can't you multi-stream? You can multi-stream.
I can, but I don't have enough subs yet. I have no subs on Rumble yet. But
Oh, you only need 5.
I know that, Jack, but I don't have 5.
0.
I have 0.
Oh, well.
So
You'll have to share
your
Rumble account so we can sub
Yeah.
to you.
I should start sharing that so I can, because on Rumble, freedom of speech is still allowed, and that is amazing. Probably get my video taken down tonight. What's that, Kay?
I said, "Oh goodness."
I'm serious. There are no limitations on Rumble. You can.
Hey, you guys know we're live, right?
I know. Yeah, it's okay. I know I'm live. We're just.
Shall we get to the subject?
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we sure will. I'm looking at. Nobody's. I'll find the link, Mose, and I'll put it. I'll see what I can figure out and put it in the chat for sure. There's nobody in my chat, although it says there are several watching, and there are 8 watching in Foul Play. I'm kind of feeling a little neglected, so if y'all could come over and chat in my chat, that would be awesome. So yes, tonight we're going to, thank you. We were just having a little fireside chat before we jumped into the nasty, ugly topic of this preliminary transcript reading. We are going to be reading a preliminary hearing transcript from Shardayreon Hill. And hopefully you've all listened to the police interview that she did. We showed that a couple of weeks ago. Last week we kind of went through quickly the police report. if you can call it that. And so now we're going to start with the transcripts. And this is by far the hardest part for us because, well, I shouldn't say for us because I don't usually do the reading. I have amazing readers who do it for me. And they are subject to reading some really nasty, ugly stuff. And I apologize, but I appreciate them. Before we get started really quickly, those of you who are lurking, please jump into the chat and send a hello. And thank you for being here. I appreciate that very much. I want to, since we've mentioned Rumble, I will see about finding that link to my Rumble this while we're live today, and put that link in the chat. And I will also like to ask, if you haven't already, please subscribe. I love it when you go to Foul Play and listen and watch, but I really would like to have some of you come to my channel and listen and watch if you would. That would mean a great deal to me.
I need to open up another window so I can put the link to your channel from Foul Play. I usually do that and I forgot.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Thanks, Jack. So tonight we're going to read this transcript. It's only about 66 pages long. And we won't read any more than that. We are going to do another live. I'm not going to wait for 2 weeks like we talked about before. We're going to do another live on this coming Tuesday, the week of Thanksgiving. I don't want to wait 2 weeks to get started into the trial transcripts. I want to just roll right along with that because it's a pretty long trial in this particular case. And so I want to make sure we're not giving too much time between between shows to keep the transcripts fresh in your mind. So like, share, subscribe, and we'll get the Rumble link for you and put that there. We'll start streaming to Rumble as soon as I can get 5 subs. And without further ado, we're going to get started. Jack will, as always, read the part for Scott Adams, Daniel's defense attorney. Kay is going to read the witness, Shardayreon Hill. And Susan is going to read the extremely obnoxious part of Galen Gigger. And Cherie is going, did I say Susan? Yes. And Cherie is going to read the part of Judge Doak. So here we go.
Judge who?
Doak.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
And he was the judge in the preliminary hearings.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So here we go. Make this bigger. All right. Whenever you folks are ready to go, you may start.
All right. Have a seat there in the witness chair, if you would. You can, I see you're carrying, is that a cell phone or just a bag? You can put that in your lap or there beside you, however you are most comfortable. Sit where you can be comfortable facing toward the lectern there in the middle of the room. That's where the attorneys will stand to ask you some questions. There's a microphone here to your left. Just swing that over in front of you, if you would, where it's kind of about mouth level and right in front of you. We're going to ask quite a number of questions, probably. If your answer to a question is yes, I'm going to ask you to say yes rather than uh-huh or something like that. And if your answer is no, use a word to answer your question. That helps my court reporter understand for sure what you're trying to tell me. Okay, if you would try to throw your voice clear out there to the back of the room. We have a microphone, but it's just to kind of help. We really need to hear your voice.
Okay.
The first thing I need you to do is to tell me your name.
My name is Shardayreon Hill.
I'm glad to be able to help with that. Would you spell your first name, please?
You skipped a page or something.
Oh, you might need to pull that microphone. Well, perhaps if I would turn it on, that will work even better. Let's see if that will work. Give that a try.
My name is Shardayreon Hill.
I'm glad to be able to help with that. Would you spell your first name for me, please?
Shardayreon.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Giger, you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Can I just say that we have a lot of excess noise here from somewhere? Ma'am, can you tell me how old you are, please?
I'm 23 years old.
Ma'am, if I can, I would like to turn your attention back to December of last year, almost a year ago, December of 2013. Do you remember that time period, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Specifically, if I can, I want to direct your attention to the 20th day of September 2013. Did you have on that day an occasion to come in contact with some Oklahoma City police officers?
Yes, sir.
Would you tell Judge Doak a little bit about what you were doing that day that led to the police officer stopping you and coming in contact with you, please?
I was at an apartment complex on the northeast side of Oklahoma City. Me and my cousin was sitting in a truck.
Go ahead and give me your cousin's name if you don't mind.
My cousin's name is Janae Stafford.
Okay, go ahead.
And we seen the police come in the apartments, and they went to the middle of the apartments, and when I looked back up, they was like in front of me. Came back from around and was in front of me. The police car pulled on the left side of me because he backed. Hang on a second. Sorry.
Problem.
Stacy, will you tell Daniel that we answer that, and you'll have to listen to a bunch of instructions first, that I'm reading a podcast. Sorry, guys.
Okay, you can take that if you want. I can read.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
If
take
you
that.
don't mind. Okay, go ahead.
No, take it.
Okay.
I'll take over for Kay while she takes this call from Daniel. I don't want her to ever miss a call.
Where are you?
Okay, so let's see. All right, line 18, I think. The police car pulled on the left side of me because
Rhonda,
Yes.
Rhonda, I'm sorry. I don't think she muted you. Probably going to need to mute her in the studio.
Thank you, Jack. Yes. Thank you very much. Saves lots of things later down the line. Okay, here we go. Sorry, everybody. Line 18. The police car pulled on the left side of me because we was backed in and close to the gate of the entrance of the apartments. And he came to my door and he just opened the door. And when he opened the door, he smelled, I guess, whatever he smelled. And he pulled me out the car and asked if he could search the car. And I told him no. I mean, he could search me.
I think you've probably answered Mr. Giger's first question. Let's let him ask his next question.
Yeah. And Ms. Hill, I was just about to stop you, but let me ask just a couple of other things, okay? And I understand I just asked you to tell me what happened. But tell me now, I think you gave me the address of the apartments, but what part of town are those in, the apartment complex?
Northeast side.
Northeast side?
Uh-huh.
Give me the main cross streets that are close to it.
Lindsay and Phillips.
Lindsay and Phillips on the northeast side.
Yeah, it's off 20th something.
Now, you were in a truck with your cousin. Is it your truck or your cousin's truck?
It wasn't neither one of our trucks. It was a dude that I knew, his truck.
And you told me that obviously the police officers came and said they smelled something, that they smelled drugs.
Yes.
Did you guys have drugs on you?
There was drugs thrown on me, yes.
Okay. And so whenever you started talking about was there one particular officer that you're referring to, or were there a group of officers that were talking to you?
I believe it was two officers standing in the door.
So did just one come up and ask you to get out?
One, yes.
All right. And then you told the judge what you said, and he asked for permission to search the truck, but you said no. Is that correct?
Yes. No. He asked, once he pulled me out, walking me to the car, he said, "Do I mind if he checked me?"
Okay.
And I said, "No." And then he said, "I'm going to check you anyway, or we're going to check you anyway."
Okay. So he asked for permission to check your person?
Yes.
You said, no, I don't want you to. And then he said, they're going to do it anyway. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, at this point, ma'am, was there just one officer dealing with you, or were there still two there dealing with you?
It was one.
Okay. Where had the other officer gone?
He was talking to my cousin.
Okay. And which side of the car were you? The truck were you in when? Which side of the car were you? The truck were you in whenever the officer stopped you?
I was in the driver's seat. What? I was parked already.
You were parked? Okay.
Yeah.
Once the officer said, quote, I'm going to search you anyway, end quote. Tell me what happened after that, please.
He sat me in the back of his police car and waited for a female officer to come.
Okay. Did a female officer eventually come?
Yes.
Okay. In the meantime, ma'am, did you still have drugs on you?
It was already on my pores. Yeah, it was.
Tell me about that. You said it was on your pores?
It was like it was porn on me, so it was in my system and then it was about on me.
Okay. What kind of drug was it?
It was PCP.
Okay. And am I understanding that as you were being taken out of the truck or as you moved around some of the PCP got on your skin?
Yes.
Okay. And when the PCP got on your skin, ma'am, did it start to have a reaction? Did you start reacting to it?
Yes. I was getting high.
Okay. And you knew that was what was happening?
Yes, because yes.
In terms of your experience with PCP, was there a lot on you? Were you having a pretty strong reaction to it?
Yes, I was having a pretty strong reaction to it.
Eventually, ma'am, because of the reaction that you were having to it, did the police officers take you somewhere?
Yes.
Where did they take you?
They took me to Southwest Medical Hospital.
Are we just going to go past the part where she bites the vial in her mouth?
Yes, we are.
Wow. Okay. And you said they took you. Was it the female officer or the male officer or someone else that took you?
The ambulance took me.
Okay. An ambulance was called?
Yes, and they put me in there and I was taken to the hospital and there was an officer behind us following us.
So you rode in an ambulance?
Uh-huh.
Was that a yes or a no?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
But you know that whenever you arrived at the hospital, then there was an officer there as well. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, ma'am, did you recognize the officer who followed you to the hospital as being one of the officers that was at the scene that you had come in contact with already?
Yes, sir.
Which one was it? Was it the male officer or the female officer?
It was the male officer.
And once you got to the hospital, what happened? Tell the judge about what they did there at the hospital to help you.
They gave me a liquid drink so that I guess it could help me come down.
Okay. Something to counter effect the drugs?
Yes.
Okay. What did they do with your clothing?
They took it and said that it was damaged and that they was going to throw it away.
Okay. Did you tell them that PCP had got on you?
Yes.
Okay. So they knew what was going on. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Once they took your clothes off, what did they do? What did they have you do?
They took me a shower, please.
There is a shower there in the ER facility.
Yes.
They wanted you to wash the drugs off.
I guess.
They made you shower.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know who was present whenever they had removed your clothing and they were going through that shower process?
Did I know I undressed?
No, ma'am. Do you know who was there with you?
Oh, it was a few doctors standing around me and the officer.
Okay. Do you remember the officer being there as well?
Yes.
And I'm not trying to necessarily embarrass you, ma'am. I just want to know what happened. Were you completely undressed? Did you have any clothes on at all while you were in the shower?
No, they took they took all of my clothes off.
Okay. And during that process, when you actually were completely undressed and in the shower, is it your am I understanding you to say that there were medical people there and the police officer there while all that was going on?
Yes.
Okay. How'd that make you feel?
At the time I was just I was kind of like I didn't know how to feel like.
Were you still high?
Yes.
Okay. Once they showered, did they give you something to put on?
Yes, they gave me a blue robe gown.
Like a hospital gown?
Yes.
Okay. Is it the kind of hospital gown that ties in the back?
Yes.
Okay. Kind of a loose fitting thing?
Yes.
Okay. Eventually, ma'am, at the hospital, were you put into a room and hooked up to a monitor so that they could observe you?
Yes.
That's Do you know why they were doing that to you?
There was just other clothing to give to me. What?
What?
I don't know.
No. Do you know why they kept you there to observe you in the room? Did they tell you what they were doing with you medically?
No.
Okay. You just know you sat in that room for a while?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me where that room was in relation to the emergency room. Was it right there in front of it, or was it somewhere else in the hospital?
The first room I was in, the first room I was in, I don't really know where it was. It could have been like right as after they took me.
What was that room like? What was in that room?
It was a bed and the counter, the sink, and
Like a hospital treatment room?
yes. But in this room, the lights were on and the door was open. And so,
Were nurses coming and going?
yes, the first room.
Okay. So you stayed in that room for a while?
Uh huh.
Was that a yes or a no?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And then did they move you to another room?
Yes, they moved me to another room.
Okay. That was somewhere else in the hospital?
Yes.
Tell me about that room. What was it like?
That room was a little square room with a bed and a sink and the chair.
The police officer that you had said was there whenever you took your shower, was he still around you at this time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you got to the second room, was it in the same location? Like, were there nurses coming and going in that room? Or was it more in a place where that there wasn't so much traffic?
There wasn't so much traffic in that room.
Okay. Who was in that room with you, if anyone?
Me and the officer.
Okay. And at that point, ma'am, do you know whether or not you were being detained by the officer or if you were under arrest?
At the No, I didn't know.
Okay. Did you have handcuffs on you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell me about that.
I was handcuffed to the bed and just laying there.
You did a motion, ma'am. Was it your right arm that they had a handcuff around your wrist?
Yes, sir.
And then the other cuff was actually on the bed that you were sitting or laying upon? Is that right?
I was only cuffed with one hand to the right side of the bed.
Okay. And the handcuff was then handcuffed to the bed.
Yes.
Okay. And you were sitting on the bed?
Yes.
Were you laying on it or do you remember?
I was laying on the bed.
Okay. And again, you kind of motioned, your feet were up on the bed and you were just kind of laying on it?
Yes.
All right. During this time period, ma'am, do you have any memory as to how long you spent in that room, basically, sort of under observation?
I believe it was for a long time.
Several hours?
Yes.
Okay. During those several hours, ma'am, did something unusual begin to happen with the police officer?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell the judge a little bit about that? Do you remember about how long into that process it was before this unusual thing started to occur? Was it an hour, 2 hours, or do you have a recollection?
I would say about an hour.
About an hour into it, tell the judge what happened.
As I'm high off the drug, so when I'm really not noticing like my gown hanging, but he keeps bringing it to my attention that it's hanging and it's showing my titties.
Okay. And ma'am, and again, you're motioning. So if I understood it, you're not wearing any underwear or anything. You just have a hospital gown on.
No, yeah, it's just a hospital gown.
And you say it's hanging and you were motioning to your chest area. Was it hanging? Like, were you sitting up and it was hanging away from your body? Is that what you're telling me, or was it something else?
Yes, I'm sitting up in the bed like this,
Okay. Okay.
and it's just drooping down, and I'm not paying no attention to it because, like I said, I didn't know how to feel when I was undressed. Like, I'm not noticing that that's what's happening.
Okay. But he pointed it out to you.
Yeah, he pointed it out to me.
What did he say to you about it?
He's telling me your titties are showing.
Were those the words he used?
Yes,
He used the word titties.
yes.
Okay. What happened after that?
I'm really not sure, but I believe that's what he was saying, titties.
Okay. Well, and that's why I asked. I don't want you to guess. Your memory today is you think he said titties, or you know he said.
He said breasts or titties.
One of those two things?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you respond to that, if you remember, whenever he would tell you that?
I just looked down, like, I'm just thinking to myself, like, because he said it more numerous times. So I'm thinking to myself, is he trying to come on to me? Because I'm like, he knows my condition, so he know that I'm not trying to show it to him. So
Okay. So if I understand what you're telling me, you didn't take it as he was trying to tell you, ma'am, you're exposed. You thought maybe he was trying to hit on you or to come on to you?
yes, after he kept saying it, like the first time I really didn't think nothing of it, but then after he kept telling me, I took it as he was trying to come on to me.
Can you tell me any other reason you took it that way other than the fact that he just kept saying it over and over? Like, was it how he was saying it, or was it just what you were interpreting?
Oh, it was how he was saying it.
Can you elaborate on it at all and try to help me understand?
I mean, like he was just looking and telling me about it. Like to me, if I keep on bringing a situation up, if I see if somebody else was in that situation, I wouldn't keep on telling them that, because I wouldn't want them to feel uncomfortable. But
Okay, about how many times did he refer to your breasts being exposed?
it was a few times.
Okay. Did other things happen after that?
Yes, other things happened.
Tell me kind of what happened next? You're having this, he's making these comments to you. He's making you feel uncomfortable. What happens after that?
I'm laying on the bed, and I guess they come down again, and he comes to the right side of the bed, and he's like saying that he's going to help me with it, and he pulled up the gown, and as he pulled it up to help cover it, he squeezed my left breast.
Okay. And you did some motions there as well, Miss Hill. I want to make sure I understand it. So he walked over saying something, indicating he was going to help adjust your gown and cover you up, right?
Yes, sir.
But as he did that, you actually did a cupping motion on your breast. And you said he actually cupped your breast and squeezed it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When he did that, what did you do? How did you react?
I was thinking to myself, like, because I'm high, so I'm thinking, like, I know I'm not tripping. He just did that, and so,
Did it surprise you?
yes.
Okay. Did he ask your permission to do that, or did he just do that?
I'm going to take a break right here. Kay says she's back, so she's
Oh,
much better at this. So I'm going to let her take back over
line
on line
18.
18.
Are you muted, Kay?
Oh, am I? Dang
I
it.
hear you now.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No problem.
Line 19. Okay,
18.
after
18.
he 18?
Mhm.
Oh, I was reading your part. Dude.
Yeah.
He just did it.
Okay. After he did that, and once you were surprised, did you say anything to him, or did he say anything to you?
He just went back and sat down at the chair in front of the bed and he was talking to me.
What did he say to you, if you remember?
He was saying stuff like, if I was going to sell drugs, why would I be in those areas? And started naming places about Prince Hall, the Hood. And I was telling him
What did you just say? He started naming places like what?
Prince Hall apartment complex.
Prince Hall.
Yes.
Okay, okay. Go ahead.
and the hood. And I'm telling him, like, I don't know about it. I go to school. I don't know about those things. And
Was he talking nicely to you? Was he like trying?
yes, he was talking nicely to me as if he was trying to be my friend and wanted me to believe him.
Okay.
Like maybe he was cool or something.
Okay. Did he start asking any personal questions or was he just talking about where you were?
Yes, he was asking me, why do I choose the type of baby daddies that I have? Because,
So he started talking about men that you've had children with?
yes,
Okay. After that conversation goes on for a while, does he do anything else to you?
yes.
What does he do?
He comes to the bed and pulls his pants down or however, takes the belt off and he's showing his genital area and
But before we get to that, I want to be real clear on things that you've told me. You told me about one time. You told me about one time that he touched your breast.
uh-huh.
Was that the only time, or were there more times?
There was more times in between me going to the bathroom and stuff.
Tell me about that. I didn't mean to skip ahead. So after, did did you go to the bathroom before or after he started making small talk with you about the area of town that you're living, or the men that you've had children with? Do you remember?
After.
After. So at some point, he takes you to the restroom.
Yes.
Where is the restroom located?
It was once you go out the door, it was to the left.
So you have to actually leave the room you were in?
Yes.
Okay. Did he take you there?
Yes.
Okay. Did he go into the restroom with you while you used the restroom?
He waited outside.
Was there anyone else around, ma'am?
I believe there was a nurse at the station that was in the middle of the rooms that was around that I was in.
I'm going to go ahead and ask you this now then. Is there a reason after this officer had touched your breast like that that you didn't tell someone?
I really don't know for sure if that's what, he was doing, but my intentions was when I got out was to run, but I was so out of it, like I wasn't going to be able to make it.
Okay, so you go back into the room after you use the restroom.
Yes.
Let's just take
Does
a
he,
pause here for sorry, Susan.
no problem?
Just want to take a little pause here really quick. I think it's this is the first time I've heard her say this. We didn't see it in the interview and we didn't read it in the report, but she says, um, my intentions was when I got out was to run, but I was so out of it, like I wasn't going to be able to make it. Never heard her say she was going to try to run in the bathroom. That's interesting, because we do know that there was another patient in the hospital who was being, I guess, watched or guarded by a police officer as well, and she did run, right, Kate? She ran from the bathroom, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not sure where she ran from, but she did run away from Cruz.
Right. So I
Daniel
don't
helped
know.
get her.
Yeah, help
But
get her
if
back.
she had in her mind that she was going to run and she saw a nurse, why wouldn't she just say, "Hey, I need your help,"
Right,
and call the nurse?
Exactly.
I mean, it
Or
just.
even if she wasn't going to run, why wouldn't she say that?
right.
And once again, she's hooked up to monitors too. So Daniel got her up. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't it? I mean, Daniel or her call the nurse and said, "Look, I got to go take a whiz." Right?
Exactly.
well, I mean, and did she have IV fluids? Were they trying to?
Yeah, that too.
I would think they would have had an IV in her just to keep her hydrated because they had given her a charcoal drink to counteract to help counteract the PCP in her system. I don't know. I'm not a doctor, but I've been in the hospital a lot. My kids have been in the hospital. It seems like they might have put an IV in her, but we don't have anywhere that says that. I didn't see it in any of the police reports.
I mean, it's not like we really have to defend this one too much since he was acquitted on all counts with her.
True.
Right.
But at the same time, these are ridiculous things that the jury should have. Well, the jury didn't see or hear this part, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't believe that they went right past the fact that she crunched a vial in her mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That.
It just poured on her from the sky or something, I guess. I don't know.
That was a pretty big deal, when she did that.
It is a big deal because, and it's frustrating because she says that she didn't ingest any of that, but if it can get into your system through your pores, through clothing, or on your skin, then it got in her mouth. That PCP got into her mouth. She ingested some amount of PCP, but
it's liquid. It's liquid. You can't crunch a vial with your teeth of liquid and none of the liquid gets into your mouth. That doesn't even make sense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
It's probably been swallowed glass.
But yeah, exactly. That too. I think about that too. Really quick, I just
saying. Are you seeing that?
Yeah.
Moses.
Yeah.
They would use a catheter or urinal to catch evidence. I mean, maybe, but they probably already did a blood test.
Blood test. Yeah.
I'm just, I wanted to do this when they were talking about the showering part, but I just wanted to show this again to remind you of what this shower looked like where she was showered in the hospital that night. And I just don't believe that there was probably at least 2 people in there with her or standing, through the curtain watching or whatever. It's going to take a lot to make me believe that Daniel
liability
was able
issue.
to stand there. Yeah, there's just no way.
The hospital's not going to leave a somebody zonked out on PCP in the shower alone. No way.
Yeah.
I think there was somebody there holding that long shower rod, probably hosing her down.
But those curtains are going to be closed.
Yeah.
They're not going to leave her exposed to a male police officer who's guarding her.
I agree. I completely agree. Okay, sorry, we can get back on. It's I think we're on line let's see,
23. Yeah. Does he handcuff you back to the bed again?
Yes.
Okay. Is it at this point that he touches your breast again, or is that, you said it happened several times. When does he do it again?
When I get back in there, when I get back in the room.
Okay. Can you remember?
Handcuffed to the rail again, and he brings it up that they're showing again, and he makes another move to touch me.
Okay. Does he do the same basic thing?
Yes.
The same breast or a different breast, or do you remember?
Probably my right one now by this time.
Okay. What does that mean?
The right one's turn. By this time. Oh my God.
Okay.
So
Both
ridiculous.
of the times that he touched your breasts that you've told, your breasts that you've told me about, was that over the gown or underneath the gown?
Over the gown.
Okay. So hand over the gown. But you've motioned. Is that same cupping motion and squeezing motion?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. You've told me about 2 times. Do you know if he did it more than twice, or is it 2 times the only?
I don't believe that it was more than 3 times.
Okay. You think maybe a 3rd time it happened as well?
Yes.
And again, ma'am, is this over a period of time that you're in the room and there's different things going on?
Yes.
Let me ask this. Other than doing what you've told me, oh my, okay. Other than doing what you've told me and making small talk with you, was the officer doing anything else while he was in the room that you noticed? Like, was he working? Was he just watching you? What was he doing?
He was at the edge of the bed and I'm like this and he's facing the sink writing the information down.
He's doing paperwork.
Yes, and as he's doing that, like he's writing and he's looking and I see him like trying to see if he see anything.
Okay. Looking back at you to see if you felt like he was trying to see if your chest was exposed?
If he could see up my gown.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So all that's going on. And so there is at least 3 times or 3 times that you can remember that this touching of your breast occurred.
Yes.
Okay. You began to tell me about something else where he walked up beside you and I asked you some more questions about him touching you. Do you remember?
Yeah.
Okay. When he got up to walk up beside you, was that after he had touched your breasts the 3 times, or was it in the middle of it all?
I believe. Yeah, it was.
Which one?
It was after he did this.
After the Okay. So after that, he actually does something else. Tell me about what he did next.
Walks on the side of the bed and he pulls off his belt and set it on the chair and I'm laying back. He keeps telling me to lay back on the bed so that the heart monitor won't go off and I mean, I'm looking and my head is down. I mean, he got his private out and he was like telling me to do it, just do it. And I put my mouth on it and
All right. So you're laying down. No, sorry. So we'll talk about that for a few minutes. Still in that same room you've been telling me about, correct?
yes,
Okay. Are you still handcuffed at this point?
yes.
Now, the heart monitor is attached to are the leads attached to your chest, or do you remember where the heart monitor was?
I know I had some on my chest, so I don't know if it was like on my finger
On your finger? Okay.
or I don't know.
And was there a monitor in the room where you could see the heart monitor keeping up with your heart, or do you know if it was going somewhere else, or do you know?
It could have been it could have been something in there in the room, but I know that it had to have been something out there for them to see the
It was your understanding the nurses were monitoring it to make sure that nothing happened with your heart because of the drugs?
Yes.
All right. You also said that before he did this, or in the process of him doing this, he took off his belt. Is that the big police belt with the gun and all those things on it? Or is it a different kind of belt that you're telling me about?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
it's all those things you said.
Okay. Where did he put all these belts with the gun and all the other police tools on it?
On the chair that was to the right of the bed.
Do you know how it is that he then pulled his penis out? Did he just unzip his pants? Did he open them up and pull them down? Or do you have any recollection as to how he did that?
Objection, Your Honor. Leading. Jesus.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sorry.
Pulled down, or I just know it was pulled out.
Ma'am, at this point, in addition to him talking to you nicely about your life and inquiring about the men you've had children with, had he said some sexually overt things to you?
Yes, he said that he would fuck the shit out of me and nutting me.
Okay. And do you remember telling Detective Gregory about that as well whenever he interviewed you?
Yes.
Okay. Was this before or after he exposed his penis to you and wanted you to put it in your mouth? Put it in your mouth.
It was before.
Before. So, ma'am, whenever he says something like that to you, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking like, I just really can't believe it because it's the police. And I thought stuff like that only just really happened on movies. I couldn't believe that. What was going on was really going on.
Pause for a
Was it
second. Pause. I'm sorry.
She was shocked, completely shocked. I tell you, my God.
porn movie?
What movie has she watched?
A porn.
Maybe. I have never seen any movie like that.
Just think about that 70s porn music. It was so awful. Oh wait, I never watched anything like that. I'm sorry.
That's what you've been told, right? Hey,
Right,
you
and
know
I
what?
read it in books.
You read in books.
Yeah.
Mose makes a great point here.
Bow chicka bow wow.
If she had drugs in her mouth, it would be absorbed through his penis. I think that's pretty legit. Oh well, she had been sprayed off by then, but still,
I mean,
on her mouth.
they may have given her
Mine's-
mouthwash, but we don't know that.
Yeah, we don't know. We know that they gave her a charcoal drink, but we don't know. But that's a good point, Mose.
It is a good. It is, that's right. It's a great
Interesting.
point, actually.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, Susan. Carry on.
Where are we? What
Is it
did
7?
you think?
Oh, so,
7?
Oh,
Was it shocking to you?
Yes.
What'd you think you had to do in a situation like that?
Because he was telling me that given a month that my charges wouldn't be on me. I was just thinking to corroborate, like he was saying, if
Well, tell me some more about that then. Not only did he make this comment about wanting to have sexual intercourse with you, but he also was talking to you about your charges?
yes,
When was that? Tell the judge what you remember him saying about that in that context.
that if I cooperate, that just given a month and to trust him, that my charges would be off.
He used the word cooperate with me.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Cooperate with me?
Yes.
Okay. What did you take that to mean?
Well, he had already was feeling on me, so I'm knowing now, like, what he's,
Go along with it?
yeah.
Okay.
And so when he told me to trust him, I'm saying,
Can I say something? Just,
uh-huh.
I mean, given this preliminary now, this has happened like Geiger's done it like 3 times. She's telling a story that he's feeding her, but he won't let her tell it in her narrative. He's telling it in his narrative, but then they have to go back and add details to stuff that's already passed.
Yeah.
And I don't know why Adams, number one, is letting him get away with it, and number two, why the judge is letting him get away with it as well. That's all I got.
What's the date of this prelim?
Oh gosh, I don't remember. I would have to go back into the transcript
I'll-
file and find it.
I'll look it up when we take a break. I have it written down in the other room.
Okay, really
Okay.
quick. Neverly says, how can she remember all the details after ingesting PCP of all things? Wouldn't she be scared shitless if she's going to live, or is her heart going to explode? Yeah.
Well, not to mention that this is, this is what, a year before, at least a year before she even came forward.
And
Yeah,
this room is
yeah.
this room is directly across from where the nurse's station's at. I mean, directly. It's right there.
Well, by this time, they've moved her down the hall.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
But still, there's
It's
still
still not
nurses
far.
and doctors and patients walking around. So
That's right.
And she
Well,
comes out to use the bathroom twice. So
Right. And so
Right.
Daniel's going to strip off his breeches and expose himself with any potential person that could
Right.
walk in that room. Come on, give me
Take
a
his
break.
gun off. Yeah.
Right.
makes sense, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Line 6.
Okay. And so when he told me to trust him, I'm saying I never trusted a cop. I never trusted a cop. So he was like, "Well, I've been straight up front with you all this time." And I guess he was meaning by him trying to talk like he's my friend.
Yes, ma'am.
And just trying to make me trust him. And so
Whenever he walked up beside you and exposed his penis, do you know if it was erect?
yes.
Was it hard?
Yes.
well, if
That
it was
means
erect,
the
it was
same
probably
thing,
hard, you
Gigger.
dumbass. Jesus.
Right.
What an asshole. Sorry.
Okay, and you put it in your mouth.
Yes.
About how long did that last, ma'am?
It wasn't that long because what turned me off, like just had me disgusted, was because he was like, ha ha, bet you never sucked a white dick before.
Oh my God.
So she was turned on and then that turned her off, or what?
That's what
Right?
that's what I put on the screen. I highlighted that, and then on my copy I put, so was she otherwise turned on? That's what it sounds like.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, it didn't happen.
During
but
this-
still. Sorry.
During this
Okay.
time period, ma'am, was he also making comments about the heart monitor to you?
Yes, he was telling me to just make sure I stayed back and don't raise up too much or make too much movement because the heart monitor would go off and they would come in.
Other than talking about the comment you just told me, did he say anything else that you can remember other than the heart monitor and about laughing about what he was making you do?
No, not at that time. He wasn't saying nothing else.
You said it didn't last very long.
No.
Okay. Do you know why it stopped or how, or was there something that happened that made him stop doing it?
I stopped
Uh-oh. We lost Kay.
Hello? Hello?
Kay
Hello?
hit a cow. Kay hit a cow on the road. She got to reconnect. Something.
Oh, did I drop?
Yeah.
Can you not hear me?
Hear you
want
now.
Can you
I hear you now.
That's
Yeah.
weird. What the hell? Do I need to read that line again?
Please.
Yeah, 16.
Yep.
I stopped because that's what caught my attention is when he said that, and I was just felt disgusted after he said that.
Offensive to you?
Yes.
Okay. Did he put his penis back in his pants?
Yes.
Did he put his gun belt back on, if you remember, or do you know?
Yes, yeah.
How about you let her tell the story?
No.
Again,
We
Okay.
he
can't have
never
that.
does.
What happens after that?
I goes to the restroom again. I ask him, can I go to the restroom again? And when I come back, I'm asking questions like, am I going to jail? And he says that I have to because he's already ran my name. And I ask him to call my mama for me. And he makes, well, first, he tells me he can't because he'll get in trouble. But then he turns around and he does it and he calls my mama for me. And he tells me, yeah, he dials her number and he sits in the chair that's on the left and had it on speakerphone and I'm on the bed.
Does he use his phone to do this?
Yes.
Okay. Does your mother answer?
Yes.
Can you hear what's going on? Can you hear what's said?
Yes to my mom.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
What did he say to your mom?
Well, I started talking and I was like, "Is you mad?" And she said she's not happy. And then
About being arrested?
yes.
Okay.
And
How would she
so
have known that?
Yeah.
yeah, right. Giger forgot to testify about that part yet.
Oops.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
he'll back up and testify for her.
Yeah.
And so she said she was telling me that I'm not going to have a bond. And so he tells her as he's listening, he said she's going to have a bond and she was like, "How?" I was like, "Hopefully my friend will let me go." And then she was like, "Who is your friend?" And I was like, "My friend is Mr. Officer." And I was like, looking at him like, "My friend is Mr. Officer."
That's what you were calling him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she started laughing at me because she said that I was high.
She thought you were being crazy, that an officer was going to help you,
Yes.
is what you took that to mean? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. At this point, ma'am, are you trying to do what this police officer wants you to do? Are you still trying to keep the police officer happy with you? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what happens next?
He hangs up the phone after our conversation and he walks in front of the bed. And as I'm laying there, he comes and he sticks his fingers in me.
Hang on just a minute. Let me ask you a
God.
question before you get there. Tell me your mother's name, please.
My mother's name is Latanya James.
Latanya Jones?
James.
I'm sorry.
James.
James. Thank you. So that conversation goes on, and then after that, he walks up, and then tell me, you said he stuck his fingers in you?
Yes.
Tell me about how that happened.
When he walked in front of the bed, he stuck his fingers in me. And once he stuck them in me, I was like,
Yikes. It sh-
I'm not sure what kind of noise to make right there.
Well, it should have had
Oh,
Kim should have been like in your ho ho.
Hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha. That's
Hoo-ha.
right.
Ho ho.
Sorry. My bad.
Your ho
Now you've ruined ho-hos for me, Jack. I'll never be able to eat another ho-ho as long as I
Well,
live.
you'll
And
just,
Christmas, for God's sake.
yeah,
That too.
you'll always think back to what Jack was saying on that damn podcast. Son of a
Oh,
bitch.
God.
Ho ho.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I couldn't remember what Kim calls it. I always forget. She says hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha.
I'm trying to,
Hoo-ha.
yeah.
That's a
Oh,
common term. It shocked you?
Yeah, because it was unexpected. Damn it.
God.
Like, I'm trying to imagine that actually happened. He just walks by and just sticks his
Does it?
fingers in.
slips
It's
them
like-
in.
Wouldn't you need to like
Oh my God.
get to the area first? I mean,
Good thing.
what? It's
She
not
need
like
to
she
spread
was.
her legs were
Nothing's-
spread wide open, or
I mean, it wasn't like she was in stirrups or anything. Oh my God! Whatever. Never mind. I shouldn't have started that.
It's hard because it does trigger some pretty, nasty.
well, we know
images.
it's all just a made up story, right?
Right, right.
Right.
Well, he
Just
walks by and he
ridiculous.
just sticks his fingers in me.
It's so ridiculous. It's so completely ridiculous that Giger would let her continue on down and digging this hole deeper and deeper and deeper because she'll just keep adding shit to it. And he
Well,
loves
He
it.
help
loves
her.
it. I'm
It
sure.
helps her dig.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so gross. Okay.
Let me ask just a few things about that, if I may, Ms. Hill. You're sitting on the bed when this happens.
Yes, I'm laying on the bed.
Is there a blanket over your legs, or are you just sitting on the bed with your gown covering, hanging?
Just with my gown on.
She just said she was laying. Then he
Yep.
says sitting again.
Of course.
Okay. Okay. Can you show me on your legs about how far down that gown covered while you were sitting on the bed? Can you motion to me so I can see?
Probably about right here.
Okay. About 6 inches below the knee.
Yes.
Okay. Did he adjust the gown in some way or move it or go up under it? How did his hand get
He just went up under it.
Yeah.
just straight up under your gown?
Yes.
And I know that you've said it and it may be very clear, but because this lady is writing it down, I want to be real specific.
Oh, God.
When you say he stuck his fingers in you, do you mean he stuck his fingers in your vagina?
Yes, he stuck his fingers in my vagina.
Did it actually go inside, ma'am?
No.
Yes.
It's an outside. It's
Okay.
an outside vagina.
Oh, my
It's an outside
God.
vagina. It's an outside
What?
vagina.
She wears her vagina on the outside. Good God.
Jesus.
Oh, Jesus.
So
Shocked you?
Yes.
What'd you say? Or did you say anything to him?
I just gasped.
Oh,
What'd he say after that, if anything?
He just went to the counter and he started washing his hands.
But he did.
Okay. At some point, ma'am, after this happened, did you ask him whether or not you were still going to go to jail, or did you talk about, since you had these discussions about your charges or your bond? What did he say about that? Let me ask this. Did he take you to the county jail
Yes.
eventually?
Yes.
Did you ask him about that? Were you taking me to jail, or do you know if you had any conversations like that?
He was just saying that he had to take me to jail because he had ran my name, and that on the way to the county I was just telling him, like, I never trusted a cop. You keep saying give it a month and the charges won't be on me. So I guess his way of making me believe that when I went to county, he told me he he didn't charge me with my tickets that we both knew I had.
You had some city tickets outstanding and warrants for those?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. And ma'am, this may have been clear by your testimony, but before
Yeah.
you were taken to the hospital, you've told me that not only was this one police officer who you've talked to me about there, but there was also at least one other female officer there, and then another male officer. Is that right? That was at the scene where the pickup was.
Yes.
Do you remember if there were other police officers there, or were there just 3 total? Or do you know?
I believe it was 3 because I know his car was on the side of the truck, and then it was like 2 in front of the truck that was just parked.
And those officers were those officers there still when the ambulance arrived and whenever, as far as you know, whenever you were taken to the hospital?
I believe so.
So there was a group of officers when you were actually put into custody. Fair enough?
Yes, because my cousin was in one of the cars.
Okay. And you know that she was detained and charged as well. Is that fair?
Well, at that time, I didn't know.
You know that now?
I know when I was at the hospital, I was asking him where was my cousin and did she go to jail. I was worried about her.
One more thing before I talk to you about what happened when you got to the county jail. And I want to be clear on this as well. You've told me about 3 different times he touched your breast. 2 of them specifically, you told me it was over your gown. Do you remember about the 3rd time? Was it
That was all over my gown.
all over your gown?
Yes.
Okay. All 3 times were?
Yes.
All right. Now, eventually he did take you to the county jail, but you said he didn't put the tickets on you. What else? Anything happen at the county jail?
When I was talking to the nurse when she was taking my blood pressure and everything, she asked me a whole lot of questions, and she asked me was I sexually assaulted in the last 24 hours or whatever. And I told her no. He was standing behind her with my files, I guess, and when he when I told her, when she asked me, I said no. And after I said no, he closed the book up and he left. And he came back around there and he came out to the door. He passed me. Well, he brought me to another part and we sat at the bench and he told me, he was like, I hid your tickets for you and I made your bond super fucking cheap.
The court you made. I'm sorry.
I made your bond super fucking cheap.
And, ma'am, you said a minute ago that while the nurse was asking you those intake questions or those questions about your health, he still had something opened. But when you said no, he closed it up?
Uh-huh.
All right.
The court. Was that a yes or no, ma'am?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
All right. Ma'am, eventually, were you released from the county jail?
I was in jail for about 5 days.
Okay. And then you got out?
Yes.
Okay. After that, ma'am, did this same officer try to contact you in some way?
Yes.
Tell me about how that happened, please.
About 2 weeks later, after I got out, I had a friend request from him and I accepted it.
Okay. You said a friend request. Are you talking about Facebook?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about that. Did you know who it was?
Yes, I remembered his face and I remember seeing his badge with the last name. I don't think names are on badges, actually, are they?
Well,
Sometimes they
Commission.
are.
on
I
the
don't think
shirt.
it's on the shirt. The badge has the symbol
Number.
and the
Number.
commission.
Yeah,
Yep.
commission number.
Yeah. Anyway, maybe she means name badge anyway. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Probably.
Do you remember what the last name was?
Yes, it was Holtzclaw. At the time, I didn't know how to say it, and you still
Oh,
don't.
how would you
She
say
still
it?
doesn't.
Holtzclaw?
Holtzclaw? Okay. When the friend request came into Facebook, did it have a photograph attached to it, like a profile picture,
Yes.
and you recognized it?
Yes.
Ma'am, I don't want to go into a lot of that with the Facebook, but did you eventually give that information to Detective Gregory?
Yes.
Okay. During those Facebook conversations or communications, were there conversations about your charges? Communications back and forth some?
Yes.
Okay. At some point, did he also ask you to call him during those communications?
Yes.
And did he give you the phone number?
Yes.
And is that in the Facebook information you gave to Detective Gregory?
Yes.
At some point, ma'am, did he want to meet you again?
Yes.
Okay. And ma'am, if I can, I want to now turn your. Do you remember about how long after you got out of jail that he wanted to meet you?
It was about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks. Okay. I want to turn your attention, if I can, to the 9th day of January 2014. Did something happen on that day involving this officer?
Yes.
And that would be about 2 to 2.5 weeks after the first event. Fair enough?
Yes. Did they say September in the beginning of this? We'll look
Um,
back at that later. I feel like they
I,
said September, which it was December.
It would have been December, yeah.
I don't
Huh,
know if
I'm
they
not
even
sure.
mentioned the date at the beginning, to be honest.
I think they mentioned draw your attention to September something.
Oh,
I
maybe.
think
Yeah,
it
we'll have
meant
to
to
check it
say,
out.
okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Maybe a little bit more. What happened on that day, ma'am?
He had told me, we was texting and he had told me that he was leaving the outlet mall and that he wanted to come see me and talk about the case. And he came and he parked in the driveway next door to the vacant house and waited for me to come outside.
He actually went to your house?
Yes.
Okay. Whenever, did you come in contact with him that day? Did you see him that day?
Yes.
Okay. When he showed up at your house, was he in the police car, or was he in a different kind of car?
No, he drove a silver, it looked like a 300 and had rims on it.
Like a Chrysler?
Yeah. A Chrysler 300.
Okay. Did you go out and talk to him that day?
Yes.
What happened? Tell me about it.
My husband just stepped out. I
What?
didn't know she had a husband. Never
What?
heard this before. Anyway, my husband just stepped out. I was watching my kids and my little brothers and sisters, and the whole time we was in the car, he was talking and he was telling me like to pressuring me to have sex with him, and
Do you remember the words he used?
he was saying he was asking me like to have sex with him.
Okay. Did he ever indicate what kind of position he wanted you to take whenever he had sex with you?
Yes, he told me. I kept on telling him I couldn't because the kids was in the house by themselves, and he really wasn't too worried about that. He just was telling me like, could you just bend over real quick? And he was telling me to bend over in the seat, in the front seat, while he come out, like stand outside the car, and like I be bending over, and
Really? Jesus. His indication that he would want to have sex with you standing behind you
yeah,
and you bent over?
yes,
I recall that she said he wanted a blowjob
Yeah.
yeah.
from
Yep.
the other testimony.
She's getting confused with something else, I guess.
She's confused.
I guess. And you bent over?
Yes.
Did you ever do that?
No.
At some point, ma'am, did he expose himself to you in the car?
Yes.
Well, tell me about that.
He had on like black sweatpants, and he pulled his private out.
Could you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Did you want to see it that day? Did you want to look at his penis?
No.
When he pulled it out, what did he say? Or if anything, what did he do? What did he say?
He was telling me to suck his dick.
What did you say?
And I was telling him I couldn't because I had to watch the kids that was in the house.
Just 1 second. Okay. When you refused to do that, tell me what he did. How did he react? What happened?
He just kept on saying, just do it. Just do it.
Okay. You never did?
No.
Eventually, did you get out of the car or did that contact end that day? No, she's still sitting in the car.
Yeah, right.
I was just
All these years later. Sorry.
Yeah.
on the door. You're the door?
On the door.
The door. I'm
I
the
was
door.
I just had enough like of him just trying to make me have sex with him, and I was telling him like he don't even have a rubber or a condom, and he really didn't care about that. He was asking me like, you don't trust me?
And you told him your children were in the house, and none of that seemed.
And I was just like, I can't do it. And I was just like, I gotta go.
Did you get out?
Yes.
And this case, ma'am, did you still have a case pending in Oklahoma County? A criminal case?
Yes.
In fact, your case is still pending today, is it not?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you ever tell anybody
Yes.
on your own
Yes.
about what happened? Who did you tell?
I told my mom. I told my twin.
What's her name?
My twin is Shardayreon Hill.
Shardayreon? Spell it for me. So this.
Sarreon.
Okay. Eventually, did the police contact you?
Yes.
Did Detective Gregory come find you eventually?
Ooh, wait. Sorry. Okay.
That's
So he's
Huh.
yeah. Yeah.
the police never contacted her. She called the main line, and we haven't spoken before, right?
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, that was a big gotcha.
Uh-huh.
Me. To us. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
So she's the one that initiated contact.
Yeah, after she saw it on the news.
Right. So,
But Gregory
right.
did try to find her, right?
No. Well,
He said that in his I think he said that she might have been on a list or something in that interview, but I couldn't swear.
yeah, she was on. You were on the list that we were given, and I was gonna try to find you.
We have a list. It's just a list.
Yeah.
And that's yeah.
Did Detective
See, that
Gregory
whole
come find you? Yeah. Sorry,
the
Kate,
beginning
go
of that interview, that recorded interview, is so suspicious with him trying to
Yeah.
lay down the fact that they've never spoken before, and then come to find out they actually had spoken on the phone before.
Mhm.
I mean, that whole thing is just suspicious.
But now she's saying he came and found her.
Which is probably true.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it probably
Probably
is, but that is not at all what Detective Gregory said.
Well, Giger screwed up there, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
They wanted, yeah, because, well, it changes by trial, right?
Oh yeah, everything
yeah, it'll be something completely
by
different.
trial.
They wanted it to be that she came forward without the list on her
Right.
own.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's what they were. That's what they were trying to make it out to be, but
Because this is at the end, and they've had to contact all these women. They
mhm.
want some women that came forward on their own, and I think that's why he was make such a point of getting on the record that she came forward on her own.
Yeah.
Well, how did you?
She thought
Yeah, how
that Oklahoma
He
City was
hadn't-
going to be a big ATM for her.
He hadn't yet decided to come up with that lie. At this point, it looks like.
Well,
maybe.
this is after her recorded interviews, so
Yeah. I think he just
But
screwed up, maybe.
before trial, right?
Oh,
Giger
yeah.
Giger just dropped the ball here.
Yeah.
Yep.
He did.
Wow.
Oops, sorry. We're going to show
Did
that
Detective
later.
Gregory come find you eventually?
Yes.
Did you ever tell any law enforcement officers about it until you talked to Detective Gregory?
No,
Why not?
because I didn't think that no one would believe me. I feel like all police will work together, and I was scared.
Hey, one more thing. Why didn't she tell her husband that she didn't really have? Right?
Right.
This was the first time I've ever heard her say she had a husband, because she didn't.
Well,
And
and
she
Giger
wasn't-
dropped it. Giger never commented about it.
I
And
mean,
she
maybe
wasn't-
she had a husband, but I've never heard about it before. That's something to look into.
Yeah, we're going to have
She
to look
was-
into that.
worried about the kids when he allegedly wanted her to bend over, but I think she'd be worried about her husband returning too. He might
Well,
be
yeah, exactly.
the one that she
My
didn't
husband-
have.
My husband had stepped out. That is so bizarre. Okay, anyway. Okay.
Eventually, Detective Gregory found you. And did you tell him essentially what you've told me today?
Yes.
Ma'am, do you know if Southwest... First of all, I don't know if I ever asked you. Do you know what hospital they took you to?
Yes.
She already said
Which
it.
one?
They took me to Southwest Medical.
Southwest Medical. Do you know if that's in Oklahoma County?
Yes.
Do you see the police officer who did all these things to you and with you that you've told me about in the courtroom.
Yes.
Can you tell me where he is sitting and what he's wearing, please?
He's sitting to the left of the courtroom on my left, and he's wearing a black suit.
There's 3 men at the table. Is he closest to the judge, furthest from the judge, or in the middle?
He's closer to the judge.
Ask the record to reflect identification, Your Honor.
Record will reflect that the witness has pointed out Daniel K. Holtzclaw as the police officer who maintained custody of her at Southwest Medical Center on December 20th, 2013, and who came to her home in Oklahoma City approximately 2 or 2.5 months thereafter.
Ma'am, I don't think I want you to tell me the exact address of your house that he came to on the 9th day of January. But can you tell me, is it in Oklahoma City?
Yes, sir.
Do you know the street that it's on? Just the name of the street.
81st Street.
81st Street. Do you know if the location on 81st Street is your house in Oklahoma County?
Yes, sir.
Is it? Yes, you know, and yes, it is.
Yes. Yeah.
Your Honor, I don't believe I have any other questions. I know procedurally I would normally wait to make minor modifications to amend the information. I know we have so many counts. I can either do that after each one or I can wait until the end, whichever you prefer.
Well, I think Mr. Adams might want to cross-examine first, but I'll leave that up to him.
Well, I'm sure that he will. Judge, since I was...
No, I mean, before you make your...
Before I did that's fine.
Is that all right, Mr. Adams?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may cross-examine.
Mr. Adams is going to ask you some questions, okay?
Okay.
Pass the witness.
Okay, you want to do a break here, or what do you want to do? You want me to just move on?
We can take a little quick break. We've kind of been taking them a little bit here and there just because we kind of had to explain some things. But
well, I mean, I think that how many more amendments are now? You're fine. How many more amendments is he going to do to her testimony and what she said in the original? When she talked to Rockhead.
So she tell Rocky that he actually touched her breast skin to skin.
Yeah.
Well, right. I think Giger was trying to get her to say that.
And I think she might have thought that when he was saying over the gown, I think she might have thought he was saying like reach up over the top of the gown, like over the neck area and down.
Right, because those snaps up there on a lot of hospital gowns that you can unsnap it and it'll flap down.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll work that part out at trial.
During trial, yeah.
Right.
Hey, where the hell is Liam at? Somebody needs to call Liam.
I don't know. TJ's trying to do it all by himself.
I saw TJ was busy.
Yeah, he's trying. And we're gonna take this as a compliment. Under your scars thinks we're so funny. Thank you.
Oh yeah, we're hysterical.
Some of us think we are too, but Oh, anyway. Okay. Yeah, that's we've kind of filled in what we needed to as we've gone, so we can, unless anybody has any comments or questions they want to ask.
I'm sure there's more coming.
I have a comment. I have a comment. So hopefully Adams is going to bring the text messages in because Giger didn't want to get into all that. Not the text messages, the Facebook messages.
Yeah. Right.
Giger didn't want to get into all that because
there was nothing damning.
I mean, yeah, that's not right that he friended her on Facebook and did all that, but there's nothing sexual in those messages.
Well, it just sounded like a
Right.
cop that was a little concerned about this person that really went through a pretty horrible thing, whatever we think about PCP and somebody being a drug addict. And he was just checking, see if she was,
You
what she
staying
was.
out
If she
of
was
trouble?
yeah,
You staying out of trouble?
Well,
keeping your shit
and
straight?
maybe
Did you get new
he-
charges?
and
Yeah.
maybe he's kind of grooming her for a CI. You know.
It's possible.
Yeah. Could have been. That's a good point.
Yeah, I
Possibly.
never thought about that, but
Well, I think
I
also,
never heard about it either. So
Yeah.
I said, they said a little bit about it there at the end, but I don't think it would have been proper for Giger to try to amend anything before Adam got to question her about what she's already fucking said. Pardon my French.
Right. No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what that's all about.
well, Judge Doak agrees with you, Jack.
Yeah.
Well, just
Woo,
can you
Judge
imagine?
Doak.
Can you imagine the harassing and ass beatings this person took as a child? Because you change one letter and that becomes dork.
Yep.
Seriously,
True.
I thought about that when you all was saying that at the beginning. I'm thinking, oh damn.
Yeah.
Yep, it is DOAK.
Yep.
Doke.
Okay.
All right.
ready to go?
You ready? Yep, let's go.
All right, here we go. Ms. Hill, so we can kind of get a timeline down. You're stating that the first time you had any contact with Officer Holtzclaw was December of 2013.
Yes, sir.
Prior to that, had he ever issued you any tickets or anything?
No, that was the first time I'd seen him.
And so I can completely understand what was going on with you that day. You were in an apartment complex smoking PCP.
Yes.
And whenever Officer Holtzclaw and another officer approached the vehicle, there was some PCP that was spilled on your clothing.
Yes.
And you would agree with me that you were high.
Yes.
What effect does PCP have on you? What does it do?
It just makes you feel some type of way high.
Does it sometimes make you hallucinate?
No.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
No.
So it's your testimony that PCP does not make you hallucinate.
No, it just had me feeling good.
Ma'am, let me ask you, if you could stay behind the microphone, I could hear you a little better. You're kind of leaning out in front of it, so I lose your voice.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Judge. Did she say happy feeling, Judge? I had a hard time hearing that.
I didn't hear it either.
Okay, you said it makes you feel what?
Yeah, basically happy feeling.
So it makes you feel
what
good.
you said.
Yes.
Now, prior to December of 2013, you would agree with me that you were a convicted felon.
Yes.
And you had actually done some time before.
Relevance, Your Honor.
Overruled.
No, not no.
And after Officer Holtzclaw came into contact with you, he asked you if he could search you,
Yes.
and you told him no.
Yes.
And so he did what he thought was appropriate. He called in a female officer.
Yes.
That female officer actually found another vial of PCP on you.
Yes.
And then when they placed that vial hood in the trunk, I think it's supposed to be on the trunk, you grabbed it and put it in your mouth and you smashed it with your teeth.
Yes.
And did that also make you high?
Yes.
So they thought it was a rather significant amount that they needed to call an ambulance, at least the police officers did.
Yes.
And so Officer Holtzclaw or someone with the OCPD called an ambulance.
Yes.
and you were transported to the hospital.
Yes.
And when you got there, the hospital personnel stripped off all of your clothing.
Yes.
And you would agree with me that you were high.
Yes.
And they placed you in the shower.
Yes.
And you understood at that point in time that you have committed a felony offense.
Yes.
And are you in the custody of the Oklahoma City Police Department?
Yes.
You expect the police will walk out of the room while you're in custody?
I've never been in that situation, so I wouldn't know that.
You've been in custody before.
Yes, but I've never been in the hospital alone with the police. I wouldn't have known if he needed to be in there or if he needed to be outside of there. I just know we were in the same room.
But in any event, after you showered, you're placed in the emergency room. Where do they take you right after you take the shower?
Right after I took a shower, they took me to an open room.
An open room.
Yes, the door was open, lights were on, and that's the room that they brought the drink in to for me to drink.
Okay, and this drink was to help you from being high.
Yes.
And how long did you have to drink that drink?
I don't even believe I finished it because it really wasn't tasty or nothing. I just drank it just because that's what I was trying to do, come down.
Sure, okay. Did Officer Holtzclaw, under your scenario, do anything inappropriate to you while you were having this drink?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the room where all the inappropriate stuff happened?
No.
So while you were drinking the drink in that open room, were there also some nurses coming in and checking on you?
Yes, in the first room, they wasn't really checking on me. They just came to give me my drink, and I think I signed a paper saying that my clothes were getting trashed.
So were there also doctors coming in and checking on you?
Just nurses.
So you didn't see a doctor in this first room?
No.
So if your chart shows that a doctor came and saw you, they made that up?
I'm not sure if a doctor or I believe it was nurses because normally when it's a doctor, they tell you it's a doctor. I wasn't in there for like any checkups or nothing. It was
What?
just
No
nurses
shit.
to
Sorry.
make sure because I was there for me to come down. So it wasn't really no need for no doctor. It was just nurses
Oh.
there from what I remember.
Hold on, pause, Jack. I think we're all thinking the same thing, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Her
Yeah.
life
Come
was
on.
in danger. There was a fucking doctor there. There's a report, well, not a report from the doctor, but interview that Gregory did. I mean, I guess she was high, so she maybe doesn't remember a doctor, but Jesus, come on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I
There
think
we
we're
go.
all thinking it like you said. Okay, line 16. So in this first room, what event was it that you say was inappropriate that Officer Holtzclaw did to you?
In the first one, there was nothing going on.
Okay, so he didn't do anything inappropriate to you in the first room.
No.
I can just say he did.
Yeah. she
Okay,
did.
yeah. Okay, then how long are you in that first room before you're taken into the second room?
Probably about 30 minutes to an hour. I think no more than an hour.
Okay, and who took you to the second room?
The nurses. I was in the bed. The bed. I'm
now
not.
she was the bed. First she was the door, now she's the bed. Oh my
Yep.
goodness. Oh, sorry.
I'm
I
not for
was the bed.
I'm the bed. You're the bed? I'm not for sure. I think I was probably in the bed and they took me No. I think I was in a wheelchair and they pushed me around to the other room.
Okay, and the other room again, is it in the hospital?
Yes.
And you would agree with me that the door is not locked.
No, they're not locked.
And while you were in the second room for however long you were there, nurses and doctors would come in and check on you.
In the first room, yes.
And the second room, is it your testimony that no medical professional came in and checked on you in the second room?
No,
They did not?
they did not.
So if I show you charts that people did come in and check on you, they would be lying?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Now it's this second room that you're stating that all the inappropriate behavior took place, correct?
Yes.
And you're still high on PCP.
Yes.
And how long does PCP affect you? Because we know you smoked it, you spilled it on your body, and you also crushed a vial in your mouth. How long were you high?
I was actually still high after I got out. I was in there for 5 days. I was still like, I could tell I wasn't my normal self.
Okay. So 5 days later, you make bond, you're still high.
Yes, my heart rate. My heart rate was so high, like the ambulance man, he didn't expect for me to make it because they was thinking I would die because I was so high. But it was just a whole lot of drugs in my system.
Okay. And again, all this happened December of
20th.
the 20th of 2013.
Yes.
Okay. And then you bond out approximately 5 days later.
Yes.
And then somewhere along in there, you receive a Facebook request from Officer Holtzclaw that you accept.
Yes.
And then you state that he shows up at your door on January 9th of 2014 in a silver 300.
Yes.
You would agree with me that that on Officer Holtzclaw's Facebook, he has a number of pictures of his car, a silver 300 on there, correct?
No, I don't remember seeing that on his page.
So at your testimony, you don't even remember seeing his car posted on his Facebook page in January of 2014?
No.
Now, in a timeline of things that have transpired, you've talked about December the 20th of 2013, January 9th of 2014, correct?
Yes.
Now, the first time you ever had any discussions with anyone from law enforcement was when?
Was when he contacted me on Facebook.
Okay, I'm talking about regarding this investigation of
Oh,
Officer Holtzclaw.
when I told the officers about the situation.
Yes.
It was when I think the 19th or 17th, somewhere in there about, I think it was August or September whenever I talked to the detectives.
You'd agree with me that it was after this case had been in the media.
Yes, and I was gone in March. I went to Houston and I went to jail in Houston. So when I got out, because when I went to jail in Texas, I was on probation. They found out about the case. So when I went to see my probation officer March 19th, he locked me up. I was supposed to come to court on that case that he arrested me on the 20th. So I had a warrant. And so I'm locked up the whole time and I get out July 3rd, 2014. I get out, I see text messages. I mean, well, inbox messages on Facebook from him, but I never knew about what was going on between that time. The court.
Ma'am, the question was, when did you have contact with the police about this investigation? You have answered that. Let's try to answer just the question that the lawyer asks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Under your version of events, the only reason that you went along with what you say Officer Holtzclaw wanted to do with you at the hospital was because he was going to make your charges go away, correct?
Yes.
That did not happen, did it?
No.
In fact, he took you to jail and you were booked on felony charges, correct?
Yes.
Even though you were already a convicted felon.
Asked and answered, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Correct?
You may answer.
Yes.
And then you state the only reason that you went along with it was because he was going to make it go away, correct?
Yes.
Now, in any of these Facebook messages that you had with Officer Holtzclaw, do you ever talk to him about this prearranged deal that you allegedly had with him, where he's going to make these charges go away?
I replied to some of his messages, but really wasn't saying too much. I was waiting to see, well, waiting for the court dates. I was thinking that when I go to the court date that they would get dropped because of what he was saying. So after I seen that I was going to court, and at that time I had went back to jail on it, and I'm just like, okay, well, ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing happened. So after that, I just stopped talking to him, and that's when he kept inboxing me on Facebook to call him and give me his number to call him. I never would, because at this point I'm like, I asked on one of those messages on Facebook, like, help me how? Because he kept saying that he would help me. So I'm trying to figure out, how is he going to help me? Because I'm still going to jail for.
Ma'am, if you could just answer just the question he asks.
Okay, well.
Did you converse with him on Facebook about the charges going away?
Not on Facebook.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank God that judge asked that, because she didn't answer any of that little spiel. Okay. While you were in jail in Texas after these events allegedly happened, did you have any third party contact Officer Holtzclaw?
No, I didn't.
Okay. If you'll let me finish my question, I'll let you finish your answer. While you were in jail in Texas after these alleged events happened, did you have any third party contact Officer Holtzclaw and say, what about our deal, or words to that effect, to make this stuff up here in Oklahoma go away?
No, sir.
In fact, as we sit here today, at Officer Holtzclaw's preliminary hearing, those charges are still pending.
Asked and answered, Your Honor.
Overruled, you may answer.
Yes.
Have you talked to the DA's office at all about what's going to happen to those charges?
No.
Have you any sort of deal with them in regards to testifying in this case to get those charges resolved?
No.
Now, you testified that after these events happened, that you disclosed that to your sister and your mother, correct?
Yes, I also.
Ma'am, just answer just his question.
Yes. Yes.
Now, the person you were in the apartment complex parking lot with smoking the PCP was your cousin.
Uh-huh.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
And you and your cousin are tight.
Witness nods.
Yes?
Yes.
Close.
Yes.
Okay. You never disclosed to your cousin any of these events ever happening.
Yes, I did.
So if she was interviewed and denied that, in fact, you never told her anything inappropriate had ever happened between you and Holtzclaw, she's lying?
Yes.
The one event that you talk about happening at the hospital, do you recall the event where you say Officer Holtzclaw removed his gun belt, placed it in a chair, pulled out his penis, and you gave him oral sex? Do you recall that?
Yes.
While all this was going on, did anyone enter the room?
No.
Do you know how Officer Holtzclaw knew it was safe to do that without getting seen by anyone?
Because he knew that they wouldn't come. Obviously, he knew that they wouldn't come in the room if my heart rate wasn't going up.
Oh my God.
I believe he knew that if my heart rate was high, then they would come in. But he had to know that for him to keep telling me to lay back and don't move, because I wouldn't have known that. Because I kept trying to like get up and he kept telling me lay back. So he knew that they wouldn't come in there if my heart rate was still low.
If she kept trying to like get up, her heart rate was going up. Get up, get down, get up, get down.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And she's high as hell on PCP anyway. She's loaded in her system.
God, that's unreal.
Yeah.
She came up with that.
I know.
Jesus.
Okay. Because it's your testimony here today that these things actually happen. Not that you saw it on the news and you were just trying to get out of your own trouble that you're in now, correct?
Yes.
May I have just one moment, Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Pass the witness.
Redirect.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a couple of things. Ma'am, Mr. Adams asked you a whole bunch of questions about how high you were and how long that lasted. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And then he asked questions about what you remember and your memory when you were high. Do you remember those questions?
Yes.
And he asked you questions about what may or may not be in a hospital chart that he may or may not have. Do you remember him asking those questions?
Excuse me?
He asked about a hospital chart, whether something is in there or something that's not in there. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Ma'am, do you not, this event, or are you making things up?
I remember.
Okay, in fact, you remember that he called your mother, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And are you aware that Detective Gregory has gotten phone records to verify that?
Yes.
I just object to the form of the question.
Sustained.
He called your mother.
How's she aware that Gregory got phone records to record or to verify that at this point?
My
Giger
question
told her,
too.
I'm sure.
Okay. Probably.
Like, when did they have that conversation? Because it's not recorded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He just wanted to testify that part. That's all.
Yeah.
Giger wanted to testify that there are phone records to prove the phone call.
Yep.
Where are we?
Line 13.
And you know that we can get phone records. Do you know that?
Yes.
Now he's trying to cover. Okay. You also know that he contacted you on Facebook, correct?
Yes.
Judge, again, just to the form of the question, form objection.
Sustained. Let's put a question to the witness, Mr. Giger.
Ma'am, did he contact you on Facebook?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in those Facebook messages, did he ask about how your cases were going?
In the messages on Facebook?
Yes, ma'am.
I know he asked if I had stayed out of trouble.
Uh-huh.
And
may I approach, Judge?
You may.
He was asking me what was going on.
Let me show you. Do you remember giving This is one of the pages that you remember giving to Detective Gregory. Remember this?
Yes.
Okay. For example, in this one, is this message from Officer Holtzclaw?
Yes.
Okay. Is that a statement that was attributed to his account? And in that he is asking you about what's going on with your case when you went back to jail?
Okay. You saying what now?
Well, is he talking about when you got arrested again?
Yes, and I had went.
And does he also say, let me know about it? Maybe I can help or explain what's going on? Did he say that to you in the Facebook messages?
Yes.
And then did he give you his telephone number to call him?
Yes. Yes.
And in fact, you would call him and you would talk about things that he would type into the Facebook messages, right?
Yes.
And in fact, that's exactly how he arranged the meeting with you at your house, is to contact you on Facebook and then started calling. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. So if you watched a news report about this case, would you have been able to make up the Facebook conversations, or did those actually happen?
Those actually happened.
Would you be able to make up phone records, or did those actually happen?
Those actually happened.
Pass the witness.
Recross.
No, Your Honor.
Miss Hill, that is all the questions we have, ma'am. You can push that microphone forward where it's out of the way. Don't forget your pocketbook there. You may step down. May Miss Hill be excused?
She may, Your Honor.
You're free to go, ma'am. Do you have technical matters to address before you call your next witness, Mr. Digger?
Do you want to keep going here?
No, because that's the last.
That's the last
No,
page.
that's the
He's
last.
going to
page.
amend the charges.
Yeah, he wants to make modifications.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he does.
We'll read that. We'll read that. I that's my bad. I didn't pay attention to that. I don't know how to. I have
It's
these all.
about touching bare breasts.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we can take a look at it and see get as much from it as we can for now, and then I can put the rest. I can put all of it in the Discord room.
They couldn't get her to say touch bare breast, and that's what they had in the information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what Gregory had in his police report.
Yeah. And as hard as Giger tried, she wouldn't say it.
She wouldn't say it.
I think she was saying it, but she didn't realize that she wasn't saying it.
Yeah.
It's her terminology. He was saying over the
or
top.
under.
She meant like
Right.
I think she meant like the top of her gown.
Right, on the outside of the
Maybe.
clothing, not inside, not reaching over the top.
He should have asked her, did he touch your bare breast? Why didn't he ask her that?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe that, or maybe she, like Tabitha Barnes, lied and forgot that she lied. You know, that wouldn't be unheard of in this case.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
Possibility.
It's hard to say. So that is the end of the preliminary hearing testimony. It wasn't a lot of detail, and like Susan said, Giger just completely, and so did Adams for that matter, although I think, well, no, he could have asked any questions he wanted, but Giger just completely glossed over the whole thing about the vial, her crushing the vial in his mouth.
He didn't even mention it.
He didn't even mention it.
He didn't, but Scott Adams did, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so that was good.
That's a pretty huge part of
It was,
of the original event. I mean, God.
It really was
Yep.
because it certainly wasn't because she had smoked PCP and some was spilled on her that she got taken to the hospital. I believe those things would have sent her to the hospital, but
Potentially.
it wouldn't have been potentially. It wouldn't have been the serious life-threatening matter had as much if she hadn't ingested, I don't know how else to say it, but pure PCP, not by smoking, not by, any other means. It went into her mouth through her glands and all that stuff. That's pretty
Yeah.
intense.
Well, I mean, even if she didn't swallow it, you think about it right on your gums, and that's you have
It
very
goes right
little.
into your bloodstream.
It goes right into your
there.
bloodstream. I mean, that sure as hell
Yeah.
does. Susan's right.
Yeah.
So
Neverly made a comment here earlier when Digger asked her if it made her, or Scott Adams asked her if it made her hallucinate. She said no, just makes me feel some type of way. And Neverly laughed. And Neverly also said there has to be a doctor assigned to her and give orders. Absolutely.
Of
She's just
course.
dumb. Honestly, I think she's just dumb.
Yeah.
But
Well, she was
Well-
really high. Okay.
yeah, seriously high.
She dumb as a door.
Dumb as a door or the bed.
She is the
I'm the
door.
door. You're the door.
I want to
I
play
am the
really
door.
quickly, and then I'll. I know, God, that was hysterical. Jeez. I want to play the beginning of the interview again, just so. Kay, do you remember that timestamp by any chance?
Oh.
Come on,
Might have to-
Kay.
I mean, it's the very first thing that he says to her, to like
Yeah.
one. It's the first couple minutes of the interview.
Okay, let's hear it. Pay attention.
This is. Seems like very trashy in here. Okay. Am I saying your name? When I say Shardayreon?
It's pronounced. It's close enough. Shardayreon.
Okay.
It's pronounced Shardayreon.
What do you go by?
Darion. It don't matter.
Okay. Well, like I say, I know that we really didn't talk about anything. You called up to the sex crimes and just said that you wanted to come forward in reference to that officer. I knew what you were talking about that. And I know we didn't talk on the phone or anything about it. So we're just going to start from the very, very beginning. Okay.
I know we didn't talk about it on the phone or anything.
Yeah.
Are you looking for?
But
Are you
just
looking for
in
that?
person.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were looking for a different clip. My bad.
Oh,
Oh, that's not the end of it.
I thought you were looking for. I thought you were looking for. I am the door. You're the door.
Oh, I have. I am the door. I'll play that
Oh.
too before we leave.
No, now
Okay.
she's
Now he's
gonna
looking for me.
hide
Yeah.
him.
Sorry. Go ahead, Kay.
Yeah, now she's gonna. He thinks he's finished with that, and he's got that on the record. And then she surprises him by
that's
saying,
right.
"How did you know to look for me?"
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'll finish.
He's trying to say.
When I told you, I was looking for you because I have a list kind of going off of, you know, and it was kind of odd because Jim usually said that, hey, we got to call the sex crimes main line, and that's when I returned the phone call, and we just have a list of people. A lot of them, nothing happened. Some of them maybe. So it was just kind of one of those.
Yeah.
And I just recognized your name. It's kind of a
Why are you
unique
telling?
name.
Why are you telling her anything, Gregory?
Okay. Where let's
She's
was that,
looking
Pat?
at him like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of messed that up by stopping it when I did. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's you can tell, you can hear him trying to backpedal. And I got the name from a list that I got from Tim Musney. You know, okay, throw the lieutenant under the bus now. Oh man. So
Why is he feeding her any of that information? Some people, yeah, something happened. Other people, no, nothing happened. Why is he telling her that at all?
I think he's just super nervous because he doesn't. He tried to document what he wanted on the record, and then she screwed him up. And now he's having to try to keep his recording clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, he goes back to saying, involving Lieutenant Musney in this by saying, Musney said we got a call on the main line.
Yeah.
That someone said something happened, which doesn't jive with what we just read in the preliminary hearing where Giger asked her if Rocky
It sure
came.
doesn't.
And she said yes.
Yep.
And
Sure
then
doesn't
how did
jive.
you know to look for me? Yeah, it's all
Yeah, that
swirly
was-
as hell. And
that was
Rocky's
really
the
interesting.
shittiest liar anyway, you know.
He really is. He
Pretty
just
obvious.
doesn't have, you know, which I don't know, kind of goes against you if you're a good if you're good with the read technique. And I'm not saying that he is or he isn't, but I don't know. It's I'm trying to find something here really quick. Yeah. So
I'm the door. I'm the door.
Damn it.
I'm the
Damn
door.
it. Damn it.
You're the.
Oh, I fucked it up. Sorry, guys. But here, we're going to listen to it anyway, just because it's so hysterical.
I'm the door.
You're the door.
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 I'm the door.
Sorry, it was just repeating. I think I added it in there twice.
I know you did
Oh,
because
my
the one that I made, I clipped 3 or 4 of them out because I had it like 7 or 8 times. I'm like, no, that's too much. Piling on. So.
Yeah. I think I probably put it in. I probably double clicked it when I put it into Filmora. That's what it looks like, but it's whatever. It's fine. It's still funny, no matter how many
Just
times.
get some
some
information here. It's
I'm having a hell of a time here tonight.
You really are.
Oh, yeah. Jeez.
So is that good evidence?
Oh, I got one of those too.
Yeah.
I made a clip
Well, I
of
mean,
that.
that's enough.
Even if he didn't rape nobody or nothing.
Yeah, right. Even if he didn't do anything.
Even if he didn't put his fingers in my ho-ho.
Right.
Hoo-ha!
That's hoo-ha. God save me. It's a hoo-ha. I don't want to ruin Christmas. Oh, my God. I'll be tagged with Jack ruined Christmas.
TJ says, I'm the ho-ho. You're the ho-ho? I'm the ho-ho.
Who eats ho-hos anyway? Come on, man.
I do, but it's been a long time since I've had one. I used to take them on my lunch.
I haven't for a long time, but I used to love ho-hos.
Oh, yeah. I took a
Eddie
pack of
loves that
ho-hos.
stuff.
I mean, it was so long ago when I had them, they came in the individually wrapped foil, each one.
Oh, yeah.
So what's up? What do you think's up with them naming ho-hos and ding-dongs?
You'll have to talk to Kim about that.
I never really thought about that before.
I haven't either.
Ho-hos, ding-dongs, Twinkies.
Yep. Hoo-haws.
Oh my God, I used to tell people every day after school I go home and I eat 3 ding-dongs.
It was a different time, Kay. It was a different time.
Oh my gosh, that's so
We
funny.
went through the world went through like 4 or 5 paradigm shifts since then.
Yeah.
Wow.
No kidding.
Oh, that's hysterical. 3 ding-dongs, huh? Well, when I was pregnant with my first kid, my husband and I went shopping and bought groceries, and I was pregnant and I was having cravings, and I ate 6. There was a dozen. The box used to come with a dozen, and I ate 6 or 8 of those fucking ding dongs throughout the day. So, I guess I used to like to eat ding dongs too.
Oh man,
What
Yeah.
is a ding dong? Remind me what a ding dong is.
there are
It's the
these
little
little
round-
round chocolate devil's food cakes that
Yep.
have a little cream filling in the middle, and they're
Dip-
covered with this fudge
dip-
kind of icing.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
dipped in
okay.
chocolate. Yeah, they're good as hell. Especially if you get them
Yeah.
fresh.
They were
Yes.
wrapped in aluminum foil.
I remember
Oh, so
that
you-
too.
So you're telling
I
your age
remember the
too.
name. I remember the
Yeah.
name. I just don't remember them in foil. Huh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm not gonna say anything, but you should remember that. That's all I'm gonna say. You should.
Well, I'm
'cause
old
that's-
enough for sure to
I
remember
know.
them. I remember the
Right.
name. I just don't remember the actual. I remember Twinkies and
Oh yeah.
ho-hos. Ho-hos were round, weren't they?
Yes, like a roll cake. They were like a roll cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can. Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness, yes. Here we go. I found some. Ding dongs. Yeah.
I like the strawberry ones with coconut on them and
Mm.
cream
Oh,
in
the
the middle.
snowballs.
No, that's
the
a
marshmallow
that's a-
ones.
that's
Zingers.
something
long.
else.
Oh,
Zingers.
zingers.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
zingers
those are
good.
good. They are.
Yeah.
I like zingers.
This is the junk food part of the program.
No doubt.
Long
You're trying to lose
phone.
weight, you're screwed.
Well, nobody
this-
should be trying to lose weight right now. It's, almost
Long
Thanksgiving.
dongs.
So,
Long phone.
That stuff sounds so nasty. I would never eat any of that shit right now ever again. That's
And
some
they do
nasty.
still
Yeah.
make it. It's not like
I know, it's so gross.
kids these days don't know about them too.
Well,
Doesn't
it's because you
matter.
can cook really well, okay, so you can make stuff that's a lot
Yeah.
better.
Oh my God, she's
Well,
such
there
a
is
good
that.
long phones. Long dogs. All right, you guys are killing me. Look, we got the chat involved in this. That's pretty freaking
Oh,
awesome.
so okay, we've shifted from snack cakes to something else, right? I'm just trying to stay with the flow of the conversation.
Sometimes we
Well,
do
started
that.
with the ho-ho, Jack. It's your fault.
It's your fault.
See,
yeah.
it's hoo-ha. I meant to say hoo-ha. Come on,
Hoo-ha.
guys, help me out.
And I can't.
I know what
It's
you
been a
meant.
while now, but we were doing. I think it was a reading with the crew, and I don't remember what the context was. But Dr. Silkman said something, and hoo-ha, and I was dying. I messaged somebody on the side. I think I can't remember who it was. Sherry probably knows because I'm sure she was in the message.
I think you mean
Stop it.
hoopla, but maybe in Australia,
Yeah, hoopla is what he should have said in that context, whatever it was. And he said hoo-ha. And I'm messaging. I said, oh my God, Dr. Silkman just said hoo-ha.
Can't say it like
Anyway.
Al Pacino. Hoo-ha.
Yeah. Or like my son who's in the army. Hoo-ha. Oh, let's see, TJ. Remember, can you imagine? Oh my God, there's Liam. I was just going to say, with Liam and TJ together, we would all be rolling, and he just popped in.
You see
Yeah,
what
you
he
missed
said?
Yeah, he has no context for what's going on right now.
yeah. Yeah, you'd have to rewind a little bit there to get the context. And it's not my fault, Liam. I mistakenly said
It's
ho-ho. I mistakenly said ho-ho back early in the show, and I meant it really was meaning hoo-ha, like Kim Davis says. It's my fault. My fault.
So yeah, after we finished reading the transcript, we've all just been kind of stuck on it now. So, yeah,
Her story, I mean, Shardayreon Hill's story is so ridiculous. And the, Giger testifying for her, then having to go back because there was other things that happened that she forgot, that didn't get added in at all. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trial transcript. Scott, well, I'll just kind of give you a little preview without what I'm paraphrasing, but Scott Adams does kind of pin her down on whether or not she lies. And she insists that she doesn't lie. I don't lie. I never lie. I always tell the truth. And he actually is able to impeach her.
So that was in the transcript that
I believe that's in the
okay.
transcript. I read through
I
just a
didn't
little
find
bit
it
of
in
it.
the deposition. So
Yeah, I read through a little bit of the transcript, and it's in there. Because she says, I don't lie, and then he impeaches her, and he says, so you do lie. I don't lie. So it's definitely going to be interesting, I think. Those who follow along, those who are trying to keep up and keep track, with all these things in the proper sequence are going to catch on right away that she's a liar. He ha ha hoo ho hoo har. Santa Claus doing his vocal warm-ups. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, all right, you guys.
So this preliminary testimony was on November 17th, 2014. I think it was 2 days, wasn't it? Yeah, it was the 17th of November and the 18th of November 2014.
for everybody to do all of them.
I mean, I guess whoever they didn't put all 13 in the prelim, only the ones they had by November of 2014.
Oh, I thought they had everybody by then, but
I guess they would have, right? You're right.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it was in October when they went to see, was it when they went down to see Regina in Garland, Texas or whatever? I'm not sure.
Oh, Regina. Yeah, that was October. Well, that was still during the investigation, though.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to remember all the things. There's so many of them. But we're bringing it to you in the right context, so.
I don't think they addressed all 13 in the prelim, though.
They might not have. I honestly don't know for sure. I know Adara has a preliminary. I'll have to go through and look and check. Okay.
We're going to find out because haven't we been doing both for quite a few accusers now?
Yeah, we'll find out for sure and let everybody know.
Oh, hang on, here it is. On the 17th, Hill, Raines, Johnson, Terry Williams, Tabitha Barnes, Adara Gardner, Sarita Bowen, Janie Liggins, and Sherry Ellis testified. So I'm wrong about this. And then on the 18th, Terry Morris, Rosetta Great, Florine Mathis, Regina Copeland, Kayla Lyles, and Kim Davis take the stand. So yeah, that's all of them, isn't it? Did I say Terry Ellis?
Yep.
No. Oh yeah, I did. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, that's not 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah, they all did.
I'm gonna try to see if I can. I'm gonna give you guys an idea of how long her Shardayreon's. Okay, yeah, she has a pretty long testimony. She has about 200 pages of trial testimony, just her, not any of the other witnesses or anything. So.
Maybe try to start a little early, Dave? Or
early.
Or divide it up?
Because it's or I mean, I guess it really depends on how the I don't know. I we'll have to talk about it and decide how we want to handle it, because we can't do that in one shot. That's just
Yeah,
too
we could break it in half.
Yeah, we're gonna have to separate it. So we'll maybe read the part Giger's direct examination, and then split it up and read Scott Adams after that and finish it. I'll see. We'll figure it out and find a good place to break. So we'll do that on Tuesday, next Tuesday, and then we'll start it, and then on the following. Gosh, I'll schedule another one too before the following Thursday, because I don't want that much time between shows. So plan on next Tuesday, and then another one shortly after, and then the regular one on the following Thursday after Thanksgiving. So we're gonna
That's
cram a lot in.
Thanksgiving weekend shortly after.
Right. Yeah.
That's a busy
So
time.
I can't do
no, no, I don't mean that weekend. I mean,
Okay.
maybe if we have to even do it, Monday night or Tuesday night of that next week.
It's 219 pages.
Yeah, it's a lot. So we'll split it in half. We'll let you guys know how we're going to break it up next week when we read the first part. Liam says, my main takeaway from her accusation is how, considering the similarity and massive overlap in presentation of evidence, did the jury make a distinction in order to find Daniel
Guilty
guilty
in those, but not this case.
Well,
I think maybe some of them, like, okay, who was the hardest to believe? The hardest to believe, like Kayla Lyles and Shardayreon are both.
Shardayreon, yeah, who had the most ridiculous story?
Yeah, there you go. That's the word.
That's just my opinion. That's part of how they broke it down. And honestly, when you guys listen to her trial transcript, when we start her trial transcript, I think you're going to agree that it was, the jury had to be sitting there rolling their eyes, because it's pretty ridiculous. If you think this preliminary was a little rough around the edges, the trial testimony is quite a bit more unbelievable, kind of like Kayla Lyles, but to a bigger extent. And with Scott Adams, what little bit I read ahead and saw from Scott Adams impeaching her about the lies, I feel like he probably did a pretty good job with that, with impeaching her about being a liar. I mean, who the fuck gets on the under oath? Who is that sure of themselves that they think they can get up on a witness stand under oath and say they never lie? I don't lie. I never lie. I always tell the truth. I lie. Kay lies, Jack lies, Susan lies, Cherie lies, everybody in the chat lies. We all tell lies from time to time for whatever reason we might have. It's just we're human. We're not always honest about how we feel about something, or for her to say that it's not even narcissistic. It's just bizarre.
It's a lie.
It's a lie. It's a lie. Yeah. Yeah. Her lying about not lying is a fat lie. Okay.
It's interesting that none of the detectives testify in the preliminary hearing.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
I don't know.
That is weird.
I don't know if it is or not. I don't know how that works. They should. I would think that they would, but I don't know. Now that you mention it, that is odd. No, I have not. I check about once a week to 10 days, and I haven't seen anything new about gossip, and I don't expect we'll hear anything this year. I think it'll be sometime in the early part of next year. I don't know. I'm just speculating. I have no idea, but I don't think we're going to hear anything this year, especially, we're 2 weeks into November now. So, but as soon as we do, of course, we'll be bringing it to you. But stories are not evidence, and Blinky and Bullwinkle presented all accusers with the same level of supporting evidence. Yeah, right. I agree. Okay, Jack, any final comments before we wrap this up?
No, just Saturday and probably I'm gonna guess Sunday will be if we decide to do the rebuttal this weekend, which I think we are. Be episode 10 of Convicting a Murder. Probably kind of do the same thing we did with episode 9. We're gonna have a series of clips to go through and to talk about, and yep, that's the plan for next this weekend. Beyond that, I can't tell you.
All right. Well, beyond that, it's too close to Thanksgiving to plan anything else.
That's right, except for eating.
Except for eating, yep. Exactly. All right. Thanks, Jack. Susan, any final comments?
Yeah, eating sounds good to me.
Too.
Right about now.
And like right now, not
Susan's
waiting.
hungry, so
now.
we got to get her out. We have to get her out the door.
Yep,
Yeah,
for
haven't
sure.
eaten yet. But
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
that was you know, just as idiotic as all of them, basically.
It's all of them. Yeah, true.
So,
I agree.
yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much for reading.
Oh, you
Shree.
bet.
Oh, what? What?
I said you bet. Anytime.
Oh, okay. Well, we appreciate you all.
Thanks for having me.
And Cherie, any final comments?
It was interesting because I had not read her preliminary before, and thank the listeners for coming to learn more about Daniel's accusers and how ridiculous it all was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. All right. And Kay, any final comments?
No, I don't have any.
All right. Well,
Daniel,
this,
hello. I should say Daniel said to tell everyone hello, and thanks for taking the time to read the transcripts.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, so I will see you guys on Tuesday to start the trial transcript themselves. And until then, peace out.